To hold something and to develop something, to nourish something, is as stern a trust as to quit and renounce and become a monk. Both can be equally spiritual, can be, if we have the right attitude. She says, in fact, Swami Vivekananda told me, that is Sister Nivedita, he said, the goal, ultimate goal of God realization, she says, he told me, it can be reached through religion, it can be reached through science, it can be reached through art and music. But he added, he told Sister Nivedita writes, he added, this can be understood only on the basis of Advaita Vedanta, non-dual Vedanta. You need the basis of non-duality to understand how art and science and religion can all lead to the same goal. Not necessarily that they will lead to the same goal. They may not. It's only when one is a spiritual seeker that it may lead to the same goal. So the one and the many are the same reality. The secret is this. The ultimate reality, Brahman, is both transcendent and immanent. Swami Vivekananda says, the Hindu worships a transcendent, immanent God. What does it mean? What do these two words mean? Transcendent means that which is beyond this universe, beyond this material universe, beyond sense perception, beyond our thoughts, beyond expression in language, the ineffable, the transcendent. And every religion says that there is a God, or some religions do not talk expressly about God, Buddhism for example, or Jainism. So they talk about a transcendent state to be attained called nirvana, enlightenment, nirvana. So there is some belief in the transcendent. In fact, Freud, a die-hard atheist, but he gave a beautiful definition of religion. He said the common feature of all religions is a belief in the transcendent. Materialism, reductionism, science, they are not religion because they believe in that whatever we have in this universe just now is all that there is. There's nothing transcendent here. And religion believes in something transcendent. There is something, call it God or Brahman or whatever, or Nirvana, which transcends this material universe. That's one point. Now, what is the relationship of the transcendent to this universe? So most religions would say that God is the creator of this universe. Lord has created this universe, sustains this universe. Creator and created relationship. Master and possession. Like the king. Lord is our king. We are the subjects. That's one kind of approach to the transcendent and this. But Advaita Vedanta says that transcendent is appearing as this universe. It is not that there are two things. It is that reality appearing as this. It is not that there is, when we see mistake a rope for a snake, the classic Advaitic example. It is not that there is a rope and there is a snake. Not that there is a snake and inside the snake there is a rope. Or that there is a rope and the snake is sitting on top of that. There are funny stories about Advaita Vedanta. So this person who went to an ashram in India, and of course all the monks were discussing non-dual Vedanta. So when this person returned to his village, they asked him, what do the Swamis talk about in their ashram? And this person replied, simple villager, he says, well, they have a very big problem with snakes in their ashram. Every day, they talk about a snake which has covered up the rope somehow, and how they drive it away, and next day the snake is back again. It's not entirely relevant, but it reminds me of something funny that actually happened. This is just a story, but actually it happened a few years ago. I was in Calcutta, and the Asiatic Society had conducted a workshop on medieval Indian logic, the school of neologic. It's very convoluted, very sophisticated, and wonderful in a way. It's if you enjoy that sort of thing. So I was part of that workshop. I was learning, and the old Pandit who was teaching us. So they were mostly Sanskrit scholars, teachers from philosophy departments from different universities across India who had come, and I was there. And the subject of discussion was, the whole thing was 15-day workshop, 5 hours a day, and there was only one thing we discussed. What was that? Nothing. Absence. There's something called abhava. Abhava means nothing, absence. It's not there. So that's what is being discussed so hotly. And that just like in Vedanta, we talk about the snake and the rope. The example which we use. The Pandit would come every day and he would write in the blackboard, he would write, Bhutale ghato nasti. On the ground there is no pot. There is no pot on the table. And that was the sentence we were trying to understand using Indian logic, neologic, the school of Navya Nyaya. We are trying to understand that, and we worked at it 5 hours a day for 15 days, and no, we did not come to any conclusion. But what happened was, after the first day and second day, when we would sit and go through the class, and there was this old man who, from the Asiatic Society, who had been deputed to take care, to dust the benches and to clear the blackboard and switch on the fan and everything, and after the class to switch everything off. Caretaker. He would stand at the back and watch us. And after the class, after second or third day, he came to me a little diffidently and he said, because I was a Swami, he felt he could approach me. Others were all big professors, unapproachable. So he came to me and said, Sir, Maharaj Swami, if you really need a pot, should I go and buy one? He says, it's his duty to take care of us. And he says, all these people want is a pot. And every day they complain there is no pot. I could get one for you. It's available. I could put it on the table. Swami Vivekananda says, this Practical Vedanta lecture number 3. 2,500 years ago, when the Buddhism arose, a great challenge to the dualistic Hindu religion of that time. You Hindus, you speak about an eternal God, Ishvara, Brahman. You speak about an eternal soul. Where is it? All that we experience in the world is a changing world. We experience changing bodies. We experience continuous changes in the mind. We experience the body and the mind and the external world. Where is your precious God? And the soul? You say apart from the body and mind there is a soul. Where? Neither is it seen, nor touched, nor smelled, nor even experienced. And it won't do to say that it is beyond thought and language. And I can say that there is an invisible teacup also. It's beyond thought and language. Bertrand Russell said, I don't want to believe in God. I would as much believe in God as believe in an orbiting teacup. A teacup in orbit, a flying teacup around. There's as much proof for that. How do you reconcile this? And the Hindu logicians, they were up and trying to defend God, existence of God. So 1,000 years of dialectics, from around 100 AD when Nagarjuna came up till 1000 AD when the Buddhists finally left India and Buddhism disappeared from India. So it led to a flourishing of philosophy. Attacks by the Buddhists, counter-attacks by the Hindus, replies to the counter-attacks by the Buddhists, all non-violent, all very philosophical. But it led to a flowering of philosophy, So the Hindus were, the Nayayikas, Hindu logicians, were trying to defend God. A great Hindu logician, Udayanacharya, once he goes to Jagannath temple in Puri. And at that time the temple door was closed because offerings were going on in the temple. So the great logician, in a kind of spiritual sullenness, he composed a verse, the meaning of which is, O Lord, now in your pride you shut your doors and turn your face away from me, thy devotee. You're turning your face away from me. But when the Buddhists come, you run to me for protection. When the Buddhists come to prove that you do not exist, it's I who will protect you. Don't forget that. So Swami Vivekananda says, what is the solution? And he says the solution lies in Advaita Vedanta. He says, what it means is, not that the one and the many, not that the body and the mind and the soul, the world and God are two different entities. It is the same reality which in the state of ignorance is experienced as an individual and as the world. Subject and object. After enlightenment, only that reality is there. Before enlightenment, in ignorance, we think it is a snake. We don't experience the snake and the rope together. You see it as a snake, the moment the enlightenment comes, oh, it is a rope. The snake has gone. The snake has gone. When you see the snake, you don't see the rope. When you see the rope, you don't see the snake. But one thing I want us to be careful. In the case of the snake and the rope example, the snake vanishes after when you recognize it as a rope. In the case of Brahman and this universe, it's not that the form of the universe will vanish. The eyes will continue to see things, ears will continue to hear things, and the tongue will continue to taste. But in every experience, one realizes Brahman. One realizes that it alone is Brahman. All the manifold will still be experienced, but now the enlightened soul will experience the manifold as a manifestation of the one. The many become a manifestation of the one. The one indwells, is immanent in the many. It's not just transcendent, it appears as the many. The Kena Upanishad says, Pratibodha viditam matam amritatvam hi vindate. When in every experience you experience God, the mortal becomes immortal. When in every experience, not only in meditation, not only in prayer, not only in Vedanta class, but in every experience, when you are eating, sitting, walking, talking, quarreling, you experience God. Everywhere. So that is the immanence of the divine. The divine in Hinduism is transcendent, immanent. It is the same reality. And therefore we have the answer to our question. Why the and? Why the and? Why not only the one? Why not only the many? Why one and the many? One and the many, because we, in our ignorance, we think that there is a God and there is a world. And we have a tendency either to ignore God and concentrate on the world, or to try to catch hold of God and ignore the world. And both are signs of ignorance. It is like a person who is told, here are ornaments, and the reality is gold. So the real thing is gold. Now what this person does is, he throws all the ornaments away and starts searching for gold. He'll never find gold. He'll never find gold. Never find gold. Swami Vivekananda says, he who runs away from the world to meditate and die in a Himalayan cave in searching for enlightenment, he has missed the way. He who plunges headlong into the world, into the vanities of the world, he too has missed the way. This world in itself, without God, without the divinity, without Brahman, this world of experience in itself, as the author of Imitation of Christ says, he's quoting the Bible, vanity of vanities, all is vanity. It is empty. It is ashes. Then what is the way? What is the way? If running away from the world is missing the way, if just taking the world as it is, that's also missing the way, then what is the way? Swami Vivekananda says, the way is to defy the world, to find God in experience. Which experience? Every experience. Every experience. The example I like giving is, everything that we see here, the proof of that is, how do I know? How do you know that the Swami was here? I saw him. How do you know that the shrine is here? I saw it. How do you know that you were in the Vedanta Society? I saw it. So look at the language you use. You say that the proof of something is because you see it. The proof of something is because we see it. Now what is the proof that you have got eyes? What is the proof that you have got eyes? Do you see your own eyes? Yeah, I see it in the mirror. No, you don't. You see a reflection of your eyes. You do not see your own eyes. Then how do you know that you have got eyes? You say, no, my friend tells me that I've got eyes. No Vedanta for you. I know that I've got eyes because I can see you. That itself is a proof that not only you are here, it's also a proof that my eyes are here. Though I do not see my eyes. Now my question is, seeing you is a proof that you are here. Seeing this table is a proof that there is a table. Seeing what is a proof that my eyes are here? Seeing what is a proof that I've got eyes? Seeing anything, yeah. Seeing anything. Anything that you see is a proof that you have got eyes. Otherwise you won't be able to see. Similarly, any experience, according to Advaita Vedanta, any experience is a proof that you are existence, consciousness, bliss. Any experience. You don't need any particular experience. In the beginning, it might be good to have a dualistic experience, a vision of God. In the beginning, it might be good to have, sit in meditation and get a samadhi or a couple of samadhis maybe. But ultimately, Ultimately, God must be there with eyes closed and eyes open. Sri Ramakrishna says, when my eyes are closed, the Lord is there, my eyes are open, Lord is not there. What kind of a Lord is he? The same reality is experienced in all experiences, because it is not only transcendent, it is also immanent. And therefore we have one and the many. Because if you leave out one, you are ignoring the immanent. If you leave out the many, you are ignoring the immanent nature of the ultimate reality. If you forget the one, you are ignoring the transcendent nature of the ultimate reality. And that is what Sri Ramakrishna and Swami Vivekananda teach. When Sri Ramakrishna says, Shiva Jnani Jiva Seva, serve all beings in the knowledge that they are Shiva. So many people heard it. Swami Vivekananda said, today I have heard a tremendous thing. If the Lord wills, I shall spread this message all over the world. Look at how the transcendence and the immanence are in one statement. Shiva Jnani Jiva Seva. Service to all living beings is worship of God. Why? Shiva Jnani, by knowing. Jnani means knowing. Not thinking that they are all God. Not imagining there is a little God sitting in all of you. All those are good imaginations. But knowing them to be. You know it. The moment you see. The moment you see this desk, it's like, what is this? You say, Swami, it's a lectern. What is this? Is this, the Swami, it's wood. Correct. You have a wood drishti and a lectern drishti, a podium drishti. It's the same thing. It can be seen as a table and it can be seen as the substance itself as wood. When we touch it, we say touch wood. So, this world itself, we see only the names and forms now. The enlightened know that it is Brahman. So in every experience, they recognize us. They deal with the world as we deal with the world. But at the same time, they are aware of the existence, consciousness, bliss shining forth. A great soul was once asked, in every experience you are aware of Brahman? Yes. How are you aware? Guys, some kind of an abstract philosophical idea? It must be Brahman because of such arguments. 1, 2, 3, 4. He says, no. Sometimes in the sky at daytime you see the moon on the other end, faint outline of the moon, and the sun blazing forth. You can see both at the same time. Sometimes we see that. He says the world is like that for me, like the faint moon, and Brahman is like the sun blazing forth, ever blazing forth in every experience. So transcendent and the immanent, and therefore one and the many. What a beautiful philosophy of life, to see God, the transcendent within, in meditation and in prayer, and you open your eyes and you see the world around you. All of them are your beloved Lord. You worship them through service. You come to the shrine or the chapel or the church or the mosque and you pray. You pour your heart out in love and prayer to that one transcendent who is in your heart also. And when you sit for meditation, forget the world completely, because there's no world apart from that. And you get completely absorbed in samadhi, in that one reality. So, through bhakti, through karma, through dhyana, through jnana, we are all experiencing that one transcendent, immanent reality. The one and the many are the one and the same reality, the transcendent, immanent Brahman. Om Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityurma amritam gamaya aviravirma edhi rudrayatte dakshinam mukham tena mam pahi nityam. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness to light. Lead us from death to immortality. Approach us from within our own souls. Pervade us through and through. O the awesome Rudra, protect us ever with thy compassionate face. Om, peace, peace, peace. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.